Tomlin was asked to assess his quarterback Aaron Rodgers' performance last night. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Mm-hmm. How would you assess Aaron's performance tonight?
How would you?
Next.
Now see, Ocho, when I come in here and I say Aaron Rodgers didn't play well, so forth and so on, as you get older, you just cannot allow, you can't summons it up like you once could. Game in, game in, game in. You can have those flash games, but they come far and few and far between. Oh, you just, man, you don't like that man. You just, ever since he didn't take the vaccine, you got a problem with him. It's like, I'm just telling you, based on Aaron Rodgers, having watched this man for since 2004, I retired. Aaron became the starting quarterback, I think, in like 2008. So for the better part of 17, 18 years, I watched this man. Y'all make it seem like I'm just dumb, like I just be talking out my tail.
Right. I like Tomlin's answer too.
Yeah.
Like it. Hey, listen.
But Aaron said it.
Too. Hey, yeah, there's no need for me to go in depth. You know, you watched him. You watched his performance. It was lackluster. We can't win with you playing like that.
No, Aaron said it. Aaron said, I've got to play better. So if I say Aaron needs to play better, he's not playing like he's playing like an old Aaron Rodgers, not the old Aaron Rodgers. Oh, you hate it. He come out and say exactly what I said last night. Now, let me mispronounce somebody's name. Let me be wrong on something. Boy, they killed my food. They flood my timeline. But when Aaron Rodgers say exactly what I said, you can hear a mouse peeing on cotton, a bale of it. That's how quiet it be, Ocho. Aaron's not. If you watch the game, if you watched Aaron Rodgers and you watched last night's game, I was like, Aaron Rodgers missed some throws. He missed DK early in the game that could have been a big play. Because on the road, get a big play on the far cross.
Big post.
Ocho, that's a big play. A 50-yard touchdown.
Touchdown.
On the road, now you got the crowd sitting on their hands. Ain't nothing to cheer about. He underthrew Austin. I don't know the way Austin was catching the ball last night. He probably threw it back at him. I don't know. I don't know, Joe. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little hesitant to say it was a surefire catch. I'm just saying he might have held on to it. But if you watch the game, I mean, look, maybe you don't know if it's a 3 or 5-step drop. You don't know if it's a zone read. Maybe you don't know all that stuff. But you know if a quarterback's playing well. And you watched the game last night, even if you're a Steelers fan, even if you're the biggest Aaron Rodgers supporter, you know he didn't play well last night. And it's okay to say that. But it's almost like, don't say anything bad about my quarterback. Speak honestly about everybody else's quarterback. Just don't say nothing bad about my quarterback. I'm not saying anything bad about him. He just didn't play well. I ain't saying he's a bad person. I'm just saying he was a bad quarterback last night. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and the good thing about it too, with him not playing well, it looks good on him. Obviously, you can tell he's actually at the Steelers, and him taking accountability on not playing well. You know, there were no pointing the fingers.
No,
there were no pointing the fingers.
I like that.
Which were some issues that he did when he was with the Jets, when certain plays weren't made, and when those plays weren't made, and he spoke about it after the game, he actually pointed the fingers. You know, so I'm glad he did that.
And the problem what he has, Ocho, is that he doesn't have enough players on the offensive side of football to lift him up when he's not playing well. See, that's the problem that you run into. Because sometimes, you get guys that can take a simple route. You're not playing well. They can take a simple route. They can make an acrobatic catch. Give you a prime example. Devontae Smith tonight. You see that catch that he made?
See, save you every time. Yeah.
Sometimes guys make plays. You're having a bad game, but a guy can make a play here or there, and all of a sudden you get the win, and you didn't play well, but you get guys to elevate you and help the ship rise. Right. He didn't get that last night. I don't think he has enough of that. Outside of DK, nobody puts fear in my. I think Freiermuth is a quality tight end. Now I'm not taking him over McBride or Laporte or anything like that.
He's tier 2. He's a tier two.
I'm not taking him over
end.
any of those top guys, but I
one.
think he's a solid tight end. But DK is really the only guy, and if you double him, does Austin or any of those other guys put fear in you? No, they don't. They don't.
I mean, listen, Calvin Austin III, as fast as he is, as explosive as he is, he should be one that puts fear in defenses. He should be one that he just. I don't know if they use him the correct way to do that, but if I'm not mistaken, he was 4.2. If I'm not mistaken, maybe 4.1, something like that.
Austin III.
Yeah,
well, he's been playing like Austin.
Steelers Nation, buckle up, because today's episode is not just news, not just analysis, not just another headline floating around the national media cycle. Today, we are dealing with something deeper, something emotional, something that cuts right into the identity of this franchise, because somewhere out there, someone thought it was a good idea to put TJ Watt's name in a hypothetical trade article, to call him Pittsburgh's most valuable offseason trade chip, and to question whether the Steelers should tear this thing down and rebuild. And if you're a true Steelers fan, if you know what this organization stands for, then you already feel the fire rising in your chest. Because when you talk about trading TJ Watt, you are talking about ripping out the beating heart of this team. This entire discussion started with a Bleacher Report piece suggesting that if the Steelers choose to rebuild after the season, they could consider trading Watt because of his age, his contract, and the potential return he would bring. That article claims Pittsburgh has younger pass rushers like Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, and Jack Sawyer waiting behind him. And it even argues that if Mike Tomlin leaves the team, a full reset could follow, meaning Watt could be part of it. But here's what the national media still does not understand. Pittsburgh does not operate like those other franchises. The Steelers do not panic. They do not hit the nuclear button after a tough stretch. They do not tear down every time things get messy. They do not treat generational talent like disposable assets. This is not the NFC South where teams rebuild every 3 years. This is not the AFC South where front offices flip rosters like it's a college transfer portal. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers, a franchise built on stability, loyalty, and identity. And if you know anything about Steelers football, you know this. Everything starts with defense, and that defense starts with TJ Watt. Let's talk about the state of the Steelers right now. At 5-4, Pittsburgh is sitting at the top of the AFC North. They have battled injuries, instability at quarterback, offensive inconsistency, and a brutally difficult schedule. Yet, they still find ways to stay alive. They win games they shouldn't win. They hang around when other teams collapse. They stay in the hunt while everyone else screams rebuild. Why? Because of players like Watt. Because of leaders like Watt. Because of the culture that Watt represents every time he lines up. This is a player who has given everything to this franchise, who has played through injuries, fought through double teams, altered game plans single-handedly, and continues to terrify opposing offensive coordinators. Even at age 31, Watt remains one of the most productive and explosive defensive players in football. Look at the numbers. Look at the impact metrics. Look at the tape. Watt is still top tier in pass rush win rate, pressure rate, sacks created by scheme disruption, forced fumbles, and total pressures. ESPN Analytics continues to grade him in the elite category. NFL Next Gen Stats still lists him as one of the most efficient pass rushers in late-game situations. And Pro Football Focus consistently shows that teams average almost a full yard per play less when Watt is on the field. That is not a player you trade. That is a player you build around. And while Bleacher Report tries to make a point about younger edge rushers, let's be real. Alex Highsmith is a star, and he's grown into his own as a complete defensive player. Nick Herbig is an ascending talent with high motor, great leverage, and legitimate long-term upside. Jack Sawyer is raw, but promising. But none of these players are TJ Watt. None of them command double teams on every down. None of them tilt the field the way Watt does. None of them change game plans during the week before the game is even played. When the Steelers' defense walks onto the field, Watt is the gravity. He is the one the offense fears. He is the one linemen study. He is the one quarterbacks check pre-snap. He is the engine of this defense. You don't trade the engine. You fix the parts around it. And then there's the idea of a rebuild. Let's talk about that word. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers do not rebuild. They retool. They reload. They adjust. They shift philosophies when needed. But they do not strip the roster down and start from zero. That's not how the Rooney family operates. That's not how Mike Tomlin operates. And speaking of Tomlin, any narrative that suggests his departure is likely is pure speculation. Every credible insider, Schefter, Rappaport, Fowler, Brooke Pryor, has said the same thing. There is no indication that the Steelers want to move on from Tomlin, and Tomlin has given no indication that he wants to leave. Tomlin does not run from challenges. Tomlin does not abandon rosters. Tomlin does not leave a job unfinished. And if you know Tomlin, if you have watched his career, if you have watched his leadership, then you already know. There is no universe where Tomlin willingly oversees a tear-down rebuild. He is a competitor. He is one of the most respected coaches in the NFL. He has never had a losing season. He has guided teams through injuries, through transitions, through chaos, through uncertainty. You do not remove a coach like that. You support him. You build around him. You give him tools to win. That is what this organization has always done. As for Watt, he has made it clear through his career. He loves Pittsburgh. He loves the culture. He loves the fan base. He is a part of the identity of this team in the same way that Troy Polamalu was, the same way Cam Hayward has been, the same way Hines Ward, Jerome Bettis, and Alan Faneca were. And there are certain players you do not trade because they are bigger than their stats. They are foundational. They are cultural. They are generational faces of the franchise. And let's break down the logic for a second. Bleacher Report says the Steelers could save $12 million by trading Watt. But what would they lose? Leadership, pass rush, defensive fear factor, locker room command, elite production, and most importantly, they would lose the identity of their defense. You can replace sacks. You cannot replace presence. Not to mention that in a salary cap league, there are dozens of ways to restructure deals, convert bonuses, and manage cap flexibility without shipping out your best player. The Steelers have never been a franchise that cuts talent to save cap space. They shape the roster strategically, and they will do the same here. And here's the biggest truth of all. The Steelers are not in a place that demands a rebuild. They are in the thick of the division race. They have young offensive playmakers emerging. They have 2 quarterbacks offering flexibility. They have the youngest offensive line Pittsburgh has had in years, growing every week. They have a defense full of ascending talent, Porter Jr., Benton, Herbig, Wallace, and Johnson. And they have veterans like Cam Hayward and Watt guiding the core. This is not a team that needs to restart. This is a team that needs refinement, a team that needs consistency, a team that, with a few adjustments, could be battling for the AFC North crown in December. And if you're watching this team closely, if you see the improvements in coverage, the growth in offensive balance, the steady climb in red zone efficiency, then you know Pittsburgh is closer than the national media wants to admit. So let the speculation continue outside. Let the pundits talk rebuild. Let Bleacher Report write their headlines. Because Steelers Nation knows the truth. TJ Watt is not going anywhere. Not while this team still has a chance. Not while this defense still breathes. Not while Mike Tomlin is still leading. Not while Pittsburgh still fights week after week with grit, toughness, and identity. This franchise doesn't run from adversity. It grows through it. And that is why the Steelers remain one of the most respected, stable, and powerful organizations in the NFL. That is why they will not blow it up. That is why they will not trade their cornerstone player. And that is why this team will continue building towards something bigger, something stronger than any rebuild could ever promise. Steelers Nation, now I want to hear from you. What do you think of the TJ Watt trade chatter? Are you as fired up as I am that national media continues to misunderstand this franchise? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire for more passionate breakdowns, deep analysis, and real Steelers football talk. We will be here all season long, riding every moment with you.